Hey guys, welcome back again. We have a 2004 Dodge Durango down here with a 5.7 Hemi, and the complaint on this vehicle is that the battery goes dead. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about this because these kind of problems are obviously pretty common. Battery drains, charging systems, batteries, connections. Anytime you get a customer that comes in the door and asks me to take a look at a car, one thing that I want to talk about is how you have to ask questions, okay? You want to know, has there anything been done recently to the truck? Is there a pattern to the battery going dead? Does it happen, while you're driving the vehicle? Does the vehicle lose power, install and then not restart? Does it not restart hot? Whatever the case is, you want to know, is it something that takes a while? Does it have to sit overnight and not and it won't start in the morning or after a couple of days? Any information you can get from a customer is going to usually help you to make at least get a quick thought in your head on possible directions that you want to go. Okay, this isn't always the case. Sometimes you don't get the right story from the customer. Sometimes they don't know how to explain it. But you always try to ask questions. Okay, that's my opinion. That's what I've always done. It always served me well. So, with that said, we're going to talk about this specific truck. This customer stated to me that the vehicle does go dead overnight. Also, and she was adamant about this, she could shut this truck off right now, she said, when she pulled up. And she said, if I go to restart it, it may have to be jumped. So, right off the bat there, you start to think, well, okay, that could be a couple of problems. That could be one problem. We don't know yet. But it definitely makes you think, okay? She also informed me that she has a brand new battery because they thought the battery was bad in the vehicle. They put a new battery in it. And then she put an alternator in it as well. We confirmed this, obviously. We opened the hood and checked. Visually it's got a new battery. You can see it's a new alternator. So where do you go, right? What do you want to do here? Well, you do the basic stuff. You stick with the basics first, all the time. You check and see that the battery is, is in good shape. Obviously, even though it's new, you test it. You check to make sure that alternator is charging properly. It's new, it doesn't mean it's good. Not to say that I ever got bad parts that were brand new, never happens. But it can. So what we're going to do, what we did, rather, is I went under the hood, I visually inspected it. I have a good battery, I have a new battery, and I have a new alternator. Then what I did was I went over to our battery cables, and I inspected them. Now, if you notice something, notice there's a new bolt and nut here on this battery cable. There's a reason for that, because when I got the truck, and I visually inspected it, I noticed right away that this cable was falling off. And so was this cable, which is a little bit distorted, as you can see. Okay, so somebody was hammering on this or whatever they were doing at some point. Maybe it was stuck. I don't know the case. I just know what I see. All right, these were absolutely loose. This was actually up at the top here and falling off. This one was just slopping around. And I'm not talking they were just a little loose where you could turn them. I mean, if you were driving this truck, they were bouncing around. They were loose. They could have probably fallen off of the terminal. So the first thing we're going to do, this has to be addressed, because this would absolutely explain her complaint of the truck not starting. Excuse me, sorry about that, guys. This would explain the truck shutting the truck off and then going to restart it and thinking the battery's dead. All right, bad connection, voltage drop, all the same thing, right? So that has to be fixed first. Once she puts the jump pack on here, of course it's going to start the truck. Now she's got a connection, okay? And once it's running, I guess there's enough of a connection at the alternator to keep it, at the battery rather, for this thing to charge enough to keep it running. So she's not getting a charge light indicator or anything like that on it. So the first thing we addressed was the cable fitment, and we made sure that they were tight. I did not replace anything yet because I want to do my testing first. I want to see what's going on here. So I make sure that I tighten the cables up. I put a bolt in the other one that was stripped out and tightened it up. And at that point, I checked it for parasitic draw. I drop tested my battery, okay? I tested my alternator. I went a step further. I took my picoscope, which I had out. I've been using it lately pretty much every day for all kinds of things here. And I did a battery and charging system test with the picoscope. I trust that test. It has never led me wrong, okay? That scope is just amazing. If you don't own one and you're in this field, I really suggest you go buy one or at least look into it. It's a fantastic tool. But anyway, I did the tests. Okay, so now I did multiple tests on this battery and charging system, and they all passed. I'm happy, okay, I'm satisfied. I believe that everything's fine. I did a parasitic draw test, and I found no problem. At that point, my assumption was that the battery cables being loose are the problem. I let the car sit with the battery connected. I let it sit in here. Well, I verified an intermittent drain, which can happen. I did find this on the key. It does not work, okay? It does not function. It's actually disconnected in the vehicle. But who knows, right? It could be an intermittent. So I let it sit for a while with the meter on it. I went and did something else. Went and checked another car. As I let it sit, came back to it, monitored it. I never had a problem here. I never had a drain. Never saw anything going on. So at that point, I connected my battery to verify the car starts, and I parked it on the side here. Well, at some point during the day, I had to move the vehicle. I had to put it outside to get another truck in here. So we put it out, and I don't remember who moved it, myself or my partner or whatever, and it was outside. So now it was getting late in the day. We went to move it back inside, and the truck wouldn't start. So I, kind of shook my head because look, I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but we try to be thorough, okay, with our testing. And I missed something on this one. When I parked it outside, I forget who parked it, but whatever, it was parked outside. We verified again the battery is absolutely dead in this truck. So I says, wow, okay. Cool. So we brought it back in, right? Jumped it, got it back inside. I charged the battery up, and I let it sit overnight with the battery disconnected and charged. I came back in the morning and obviously started testing again for parasitic draw. I had nothing. I had no parasitic draw. I went through my battery test again, and I checked my charging system again, which obviously wasn't the charging system issue, but I went through everything again just to make sure that I didn't miss something or that something didn't change. You have to be thorough, okay? Even if it takes you a little bit of time, you have to be thorough. Don't overlook something. Don't say, I know I checked that. Check it again. If you're having something like you're not sure. So at this point, I sat back and I said, wait a minute, what am I missing? What did I do that changed? When I had this vehicle in here and I checked it, there was no problem. Everything worked well. The only thing we found and we verified 100% was a fault was the battery connections. So what changed? What did we do? Nothing, right? Well, we moved it. We moved the vehicle outside, and we came back later and it was dead. So the only thing really that was touched is this key. Let me show you. I have my meter on here right now, okay? And I have a drain. I have a drain. This has been sitting here for, I don't know, 15. That's a big, big drain, guys, okay? So what do we do? Let me show you. I went back in the truck. I'm going to set you guys up over here on the dashboard so you can look right out there at the meter. I'm really hoping we're picking up the meter. You can see it's over 2 amps. Okay. Now, actually, I got to move you again. Hang on. Let me show you. If you look, my key is in, but that's the off position. Watch. Watch the meter. It's going to take a minute because it's got to power down, but it will power down. Okay, so as you can see here, our meter has dropped, okay? We're almost within spec now. It's still high, but it's still powering down. I had to step away from the vehicle at this point. I had to get out of the truck to answer the phone, and I had to pause the video, but I tried to splice it as best I can. And there you go. As you can see right here, our voltage is, our amperage draw is within spec, okay? There's hardly anything there. So now that we can see it on the meter, it's proven, okay? When I have the key in the correct position, we have no more problems. The main thing here is that the customer is shutting this vehicle off and not the key is coming out in the wrong position, which is accessory. And Monday we'll be putting an ignition lock cylinder and a new key in it, and that'll be that. It should be a happy customer. I hope this helps you guys out. I hope it benefited somebody. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.